Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world. I am your Owl Bob, your sensei, your griot. Tell you a story. Don't believe a word I say. You're seeing us over our channel, Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Owl Bob. And we have been doing this for almost 2 years as of May 8th. It'll be 2 years. And I have close to or more than 1,000 shows on my channel, and you can go and look at all of them, and they are all extraordinary, all different, all representing. And what they have in common is the fact that I am your Griot Sensei Al Bob. I am a, shamanistic, psychosocial, cultural, forensic anthropologist, alchemist, right? What is that? There are all these isms and icks, psychologist, anthropologist, um, sociologist. What's an ist? It's a twister, right? It's a person who lies and cheats and steals for the white male dominance, right? Anthropology and sociology were basically developed to control the colored and poor masses, right? Anthropology specifically was developed to prove scientifically that white men are superior to everyone, right? That the Constitution that basically stipulates that only white landed rich men can run things, right? That women, their wives can't, their daughters can't, women can't, slaves can't, people of color can't, um, and white males who don't own property can't, right? So, and it's going all on down through the times, and it's all the way from the Babylonian bankers, right? And David Icke has a very good book about that. Catherine Austin Fitts has many very good books about that and what's going on today. And Joseph P. Farrell also, and they're just little dots. They're not, any one person doesn't have the singular, hello, sweetie. Not any singular person has the answer to anything, right? Uh, Me, don't believe a word I say, right? I'm just your griot. I'm just telling you a story. And so what I'm doing to Lena is just setting it up because today, what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to meditate. And this is going to be the singular, I named it How to Meditate. So you can find on all the myriad shows, you know, this is going to be about that, right? How to meditate. And I'm going to just ramble on a little bit about the dots because all that we're seeing in front of us right now, the political, the social, the economic, this is all stagecraft, right? Nothing is organic. Nothing is being done, oh, it's in the stars, No, Plato says a wise man who's guided by the stars, a fool who is led by them. So, no, any of, and I look at a lot of stuff on the YouTube, on the internet, and there are all these factions, all these tribes, the New Age or the Truth Movement. Please, the only truth there is love's co-creation. Everything else is an illusion. All of this is an illusion. How are you going to pay your bills? Illusion. Your health. War. Well, if you're in the middle of it, it's not a pleasant thing, right? But it pushes like me. I'm in the middle. Let's talk about neuro, the Historia, Thomas Hill, and the grand Oh, it's too bad I don't have teeth. I could pronounce these words. Neocromancy, I guess, bringing things back from the dead, all about death, right? And which is, the thing that manipulates humanity is their fear of death. And when you put it into perspective, when you realize that you get reincarnated, that you go in the karmic blender and you come out somebody else, but still you, to learn a different lesson. Meaning, why do I keep plugging? Why do I not give up? Because I can't. But isn't really about aliens as yeah. Okay, so the aliens, they're part of the illusion. Love's co-creation. Let's get this straight. God is love's co-creation. God equals signs love's co-creation, right? Back in the day, and time does not exist. The linear little thing we experience does not exist, right? So back in the day, you read the good book, the Torah, the Old Testament, that says, in the beginning, all things were black, dark, right? Well, that's dark matter that they're just starting to discover, right? And then Bango, the Big Bang, and then there was light, right? And then the word was, it's me, it's all about me, me, right? And the egocentric pinheads, like our present fearless leader, who is probably going to be the last president. And you know how certain people go down the comic book of his story. There's Hitler and Stalin and, Judas Iscariot and all these kind of people who were really, as our fearless leader would say, bad dudes. Well, Carrot Pinhead is going to go down at the top of the list of those characters, right? The person who basically brought on the plague because he's, basically ignoring it. We have all this great science. We could take care of it. But again, it's not him. It's the hidden hand that's doing it. They already got the cure. You don't let go of the Kraken. You don't let go of that unless you can control it. So anyway, what I'm gonna show you guys is how to meditate, and then we're gonna go. You lay down all the things you want to see. We're gonna go see them because when you go into state, when you go into your Akashic record, in that book, you can see everything because nothing's linear. It's all in that book. You can see the past, the present, and the future, right there in front of you, right? And not only that, not only like looking at the book, see it's a screen, right? Big screen, just like your laptop here. And then there's little screens, 28 of them around there that give you different angles because it's scalar, not Hertzian, not just XY. Scalar is 16, right? So let's see. What about aliens as well? Yep, we're going to talk about that as the writer, Sarah Abraham, and when Adam, Eve existed, so was 62 others. Yep. Hitler, Stalin probably got information. The rest do not have. No, see, it's not nation states. It's not individual leaders. It's this hidden hand. Then there are the powers that shouldn't be, right? And that's guys like Rothschild and, but they're poster boys. And then underneath them are the sock puppets and Stalin and Hitler and Carrot Pinhead and, Joy Boy and, all the other legislators, the best that money can buy. All of those morons are sock puppets, right? So there's a hidden hand. We don't ever see them or know who they are. Then there is the powers that shouldn't be. And those, like, the Illuminati and, the Bilderbergs and, the UN and, all of that kind of stuff, right? And we're going to go take a look at that today, right? And it's interesting one. I love you, Lane, because you have such courage. There were about 5 people who jumped in, and started here what we're talking about. Ooh, we can't, Mom, I'm scared. And there's nothing scary about this. Buddha said that dying is like slipping out of a tight slipper, right? So, and virtually every religion, um, you know, has a little cornerstone of their foundation of reincarnation. Even Jesus talked about it, right? Let's see, Stalin probably got information I can't right now, not there right now to meditate. It's not okay, but I'm doing this because it's gonna be right here, right? I'm going to do the full Monty of meditation, and I'm not going to do any more after this for a while because I'm about to be on the bop, right? So I'm not going to be able to do it, but it'll be right here, so you can come back and watch it and have the same experience. Because in the beginning, I was like energizing the whole screen, the whole channel, the whole internet, right? So. They're not impressed. Anyway, yeah, the UN is just, you have to realize that the Rockefeller brothers, David and Nelson, that property that building is on, it's right next to the Rockefeller Foundation. It was their property, right? They donated the property. They spent $50 million building that building, and they dumped another $100 million into running the UN from the end of World War II until around 1950, whatever. I mean, they paid all the bills, right? And so it's kind of like, what's his name, Little Mike, spending $500 million on running for president and getting nowhere, but he got somewhere, and that he showed the power of money. That was all he was doing there. And so the Rockefellers they're these families, and they're all bloodline together, right? They're all, you go back far enough, they all come from the same reptile, right? Okay, so that's the basic foray that we're going to talk about. Everything that Lena wants to know, I'm going to show you, Lena, right? So, Lena Darling, and IT, um, and anybody who watches this afterwards, like I said, this is going to be the primer of meditation. It's even right up there. When people go, I don't know how to meditate, can you show me? All I have to say is how to meditate. Go to that show, because here it is. Okay, so you get into a comfortable position like this chair, right? I'm sitting here. If I fall asleep, I'm not going to fall down. I'm not going to hurt myself. So, yeah, I'm showing you. So put yourself in a comfortable position. Lie down, lie on the floor, whatever makes you comfortable. Put yourself there, right? And so, now this is everyone goes, oh, I can't meditate. How do you meditate? What's the secret word? Can you touch my third eye? No, it's none of that. All you have to do is breathe in. Breathe in 20% more than you normally do. Now, to do that, you have to use your conscious mind. You have to, instead of thinking about what am I going to have for breakfast, what color toenails polish am I going to use, how am I going to pay my bills, what's my boyfriend or girlfriend doing, any of that stuff that rattles around in the metal cage of your brain, it has to shut down. It's very easy. All you have to do is breathe 20% in. That you can't breathe that 20% past your autonomic system. Your autonomic system runs everything on autopilot. I mean, if you had to think about pumping your blood through your body, no, forget about it. Same with breathing. So if you had to think about breathing, I mean, a lot of people don't breathe anyway. They're very shallow breathers. And that's, cuts their life by, 20%. That's 20%. So You breathe in at 20%, and then you breathe out 30%. By doing this, your fingertips are the most, the portals of your senses, right? So you do this, and energetically, you are dousing your body, right? And by dousing your body, you're giving a pathway for the prana, which you're breathing in. Father Sky, what animates this bag of water is the prana, which is like the Wi-Fi from God, right? Prana is the Wi-Fi from God. And what is God? God is love's co-creation. We were created. We have a free willed soul. Unlike anything else before us, we can choose what we want to do, right? And the devil was Lucifer, Satan, Baal, all the rest, was this entity at the top of the heap of the corporate structure pyramid that love's co-creation first had, to define, bingo, love's co-creation said, oh, look, I'm here. I'm aware. Oh, I'm a little company. So out of nothing, the blackness was created, and that was heaven, right? And Lucifer was at the top. He was like the head administrator, right? And then love's co-creation kind of split, and left Lucifer running the hegemony, meaning he's at the top, and then there were all these other gods, demigods, and religions and belief structures and all of that started in this hegemony, right? Anyway, so everything was great. Lucifer was so happy. He was head of everything. He, total Virgo, and with a nice helping of Aries, and so, God was bored after forever of not doing anything except kind of watching what was going on. But because he made it perfect, nothing changed. There was no interesting, no chaos, no, I wonder what that's going to happen with that. So he created us, to have a free will soul. Our soul is here, and we can choose whether to love God or not. Lucifer couldn't. Lucifer, was stuck in. He was at the top of the corporate structure, but above him was love's co-creation by a long shot. And Lucifer longed to be at one with God. When bingo, God loves co-creation, created us, and what are we? We are always with love's co-creation. Now we have a choice. We don't have to be, right? So we can go off into the hinterlands and do crazy crap. So once we were kind of, feeling our way around, we came into existence. Oh, well, we got this great buddy over here, loves co-creation. And look, this is whole other darkness over here. I wonder what that is. Well, Lucifer got pissed off, right? And that was the Big Bang, right? His anger was so, and that's what created this linear experience of time. So, love's co-creation, God created everything. It created, the hegemony of the Luciferian heaven, right? And then Lucifer got pissed off. Now, it's not like God didn't know this was going to happen. Bingo. He realized once he created, us, that in our soul, not this meat puppet, but our soul, right? Which we're not really cognizant of unless you meditate, right? Then you become aware. The story of Buddha by the side of the road. He's just luminescent genius. And some tribe will go, well, man, are you God? And Lucifer said, no. What are you, man? What are you, a magician? No. What are you? I'm awake. And that's what we have to be. I think we all meditate. Yeah, that's what sleep is, meditation, in one way or another, right? And a lot of people, I don't remember my dreams. Well, you got them because you're meditating, And people have sleep apnea. That's like the disconnection of their, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth to love's co-creation, right? Keep my head blank. Yep. And that's how how you travel through all these dimensions is by what Lana said, making her head blank. And the way to do that is to, right? So you're breathing in the prana, and it goes. So we're going to go through this process, right? So I've been talking now 20 minutes. There's 2 people there. Others will join in. But this is primarily here for you, the novice adept, to learn how to meditate, right? And as all things are, practice makes perfect, right? And all it takes is you breathing 20% in, 40% out, right? And the best time to practice this is before you go to sleep and once you wake up, right? And then once you get good at that, you can do it any time during the day you want. And the interesting thing about this, once you go into state, when you're on the other side, you can be roaming around on the other side for months. And when you come back, it's only been a second, right? And that's to show that there is no real time. Linear time doesn't exist, right? We perceive it that way because that's the only way we can play around in this sandbox. And we're here simply to have realizations of our soul's uh, pure love with love's co-creation. Right? Before we start, can I send you some? I'm gonna send one. I send, but don't need it all. Let's talk about that on the Due to Wake at 42 at Gmail, right? And I have access to things like that. That's not a problem. It really isn't a problem. And you'll see when you meditate today that your health care can be um, strengthened by your meditation. People who have stage 4 cancer and then have get rid of it like that. It's because they prayed, meditated, got into this state, and decided they're not going to die, right? And I got your, email the other day, and I sent you a little respond. Did you get my little note back so we know we're communicating? And everyone else, the Dude Awake 42 at Gmail. You can get a hold of me. And then we can have a nice private conversation and talk about anything and not have to worry about what we say. Whereas, on the live chat, it's going out there in the universe, right? So I love that you care about me, Lana. And once so Gmail is the way to get a hold of me in a private sense. And I'd love to do that more with you. Um, so we can talk, as much as we want, everybody else. And the other thing, once you get good at this, you can go into state and come. You don't need an airplane ride. You can come and be with me in state. And it's very cool because we can do anything, and look like anybody, or look like the best self we've ever imagined ourselves to be, or just be who we are. That's the beauty of, it shows you that this is all an illusion because you can, and that's the thing about going into state. It's you're in charge. You're at the control. You're at the steering wheel, right? Okay, so you've gotten the primer. 24 minutes. But the thing is, you breathe in 20%, you breathe out 30, and when you breathe out 30, it's because it leaves more room to breathe in the 20, right? And then it becomes a secular thing, and becomes easier and easier. And when you do this, what happens is your diaphragm lifts, right? And your lungs open up. And all the alveoli, little sacs, open up, right? And so when you're breathing the prana, which is the force of love's co-creation, the creative force, that photonic light into your lungs, um, it energizes your whole body. Meaning the prana is what animates our body, what gives it life, what gets us walking around. And why there's this thing called homeostasis, balance, right? The deeper you draw that prana into you, the healthier you get. And that's why, my doctors can't, understand why I'm still alive, but that's because I meditate all the time, right? I breathe in that prana and it puts it in every cell in my body. And I'm a putz, so I don't do it as much as I should. So that's why I'm like achy sometimes, or my voice is ick, or and especially when I go to sleep, I kind of go into other dimensions where playing around, doing things that help keep things going, and it's strenuous and toxic, and I could go to a playland and just have a good time, but it wouldn't help what I'm trying to do with this, right? So, and you guys who are, that's what being part of the cadre is. You become that little pebble in the pond, right? It makes it ripple to heal and change things for the better, right? To serve love's co-creation. It's not easy to serve love's co-creation. But it's the best thing to do because it's way more fun than being mean, cruel, or selfish, or greedy. That life is pretty boring, and you get nowhere. You can have all these guys who have all the money in the world. Why are they doing it? Because they have a big gigantic hole in their heart, and they think if they get just another $1 trillion, they'll be happy. If they become a transhuman cyborg, they'll be happy. You know, no, they'll just be stuck. You know. So, okay, we're ready to go. There's three of us. When there's more than two together, you're in love's co-creation's name. You're in service. So here we go. So everyone's in a comfortable spot, and you're gonna breathe in that 20% and breathe out that 30%. Breathe in that 20% and breathe out that 30%. And that's what you have to focus your conscious mind on. The mind that has a little squirrel up there running around in a cage, you gotta shut that squirrel down. You gotta put that squirrel to sleep. And that's what breathing 20% in and 30% out. Because you can't do that. You can't breathe in that extra 20% and breathe out that it takes effort to do that, and you can't do it if you're thinking about something else. You hear my voice? That makes it shows you how tough it is to do this without focusing totally on your breath. Okay, so everyone's comfy, everyone's safe, everyone's warm, and I'm watching out for everybody. And I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and as I do, you're going to go into a deeper and deeper state of relaxation, right? And that's why I'm doing this on the YouTube, because as you practice, all you got to do is play this YouTube from this point on, and from this point, 28 minutes and 59 seconds. Um, this is the point where we're starting to meditate, right? 29 minutes, right? And 1. You're in a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation, conscious relaxation. Your conscious mind, the squirrel in your head, is totally focused on your breath, breathing in that 20% and that 40%. It may be complaining, it may be wanting to scream and yell, oh, you got to think about your laundry, how are you going to pay your bill? No, you just breathe in that 20% and breathe out that 30%. And by really going into 20%, I mean really filling your lungs as much as you can. See, my chest is rising. This is how you know you're breathing in 20% because you can't breathe anymore. And then you let it out. And you let it out. And you let it out. And one, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of conscious relaxation. Your mind, where the squirrel is getting relaxed. The squirrel is going to sleep. Visualize it as if it was being given ether, right? You are putting to sleep the squirrel in your head so your lungs can breathe deep. And it's breathing in the prana. And as you breathe, your diaphragm lifts your lungs and opens them up. The little aorta, the little sacs with all those little hairs, gets exposed and enables your body to absorb the prana 90% rather than the 12% that it does normally when the autonomic system is running. That's all it needs to keep running is 12%. 90%. They say, oh, we don't use 90% of our brain. Well, this is the 90% of your brain you don't use because your squirrel is, getting in the way. Now your squirrel's asleep. Opening your lungs, all right, breathing in that prana. And as you do that, as your lungs are saturated with the prana, the photonic light, so incandescent light throws a shadow, right? And that's why people lie. That's why things are illusions in this world, because it's all a shadow, right? The Lucifer, Lucifer's a great illuminator. He is the first one, right? The illuminated one. So that's, illumination, incandescence from Lucifer is shadow, right? The light from love's co-creation through prana is photonic. So there are no shadows, no shadows at all. You can, the light doesn't come from one source, doesn't come from Lucifer, it comes from everything, right? And that's photonic. So as you're breathing in the prana through your breath, that is translated into photonic light by going into your lungs, and your heart pumps blood, which is iron rich, right? Which is a conductor of current. So the blood gets bathed in the prana, and all the little blood cells get saturated with this, and gets pumped through your veins and arteries and capillaries. And as it does, just doesn't go blub 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 blub. It swirls, right? So it swirls clockwise against the walls of your veins, arteries, and capillaries. And inside of that swirl, there's another swirl going counterclockwise. Inside of that swirl, there's another one going 90 degrees parallax. And what that does, it is a alternating current generator in your blood, right? And it goes all through your body into every cell, and it's carried through uh, energetically by the mitochondria. I want you to visualize in your imaginary mirror that's right up here behind your eyelids, where you um, dream, right, and you have REM sleep, right, and so you're right there in your imaginary mirror. It's this white room, right, and there's a mirror and white wall kind of thing that you can see things projected onto. And in that, you're looking at your own mitochondria at the cellular level. And there's a cell, and the mitochondria is like bombarding the cell. It's like little lightning bolts hitting that cell. And what it's doing is unzipping the RNA. And as it's unzipping and opening, that's when the two cells divide, and you have two cells instead of one, right? So when this process is going, and the mitochondria, which is rich with photonic light, unzips that cell, and it opens like that. Before it cohedes into two cells, you can look straight in there, and that is the universe. That is the doorway to everything, right? That is the doorway to your Akashic record, right? So you're seeing all the cells of your body being bombarded by photonic energy carried to that cell through your mitochondria, through your blood, um, you know, through your breathing, and 20% and breathing out. And when you breathe out, you're releasing waste products, right? And you release more waste, more toxins out of your body through your breath than you do through urinating, defecating, or sweating, right? And I mean, something on the order of 30,000 cubic feet of breath, or meters, 30,000 cubic meters of breath is being expelled, right? And what's really amazing, the beauty of love's co-creation, is that breath feeds, because it's like magnets, north and south. It feeds the rest of nature, right? So carbon is, we are carbon-based things, units, and carbon isn't bad. It's not causing the demise of the planet. It feeds all the plants. So, but that's for another story. Right now, what we're focusing on is your breath, and so one, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of relaxation, going deeper and deeper. You're warm, safe, and secure. You feel better than you ever have before in your life. You feel free. You feel expansive. You feel self um, sustaining, self aware, and you are rising to the occasion of your free will's soul of ascension to a higher plane than just this mere meat puppet, right? See that clearly, right? And one, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of relaxation. Your body, your avatar, your bag of water, your meat puppet, is now totally controlled by your autonomic nervous system. You don't have to worry about it. You can leave the building, right? And there you are. You're in your imaginary mirror. You're totally illuminated by this photonic light of the prana. And this can only happen when Father Sky brings that prana into you through your breath, and you ground it. Why? The prana goes all through your blood, through your hemoglobin. That is the carrier of the prana. It's because Mother Earth grounds you through your chi. And so you have to have this connection. If the prana just went into you and couldn't go to, complete the circuit, you wouldn't animate, you wouldn't be alive. And that's kind of what happens with babies who are stillborn, right? And, stillborns, abortions, the cessation of life because our soul, not every soul needs to constantly reanimate through, the Akashic record via karma. What it needs is this, electrochemical connection. So sometimes the soul, to move on to what it next has to do, it hasn't completed everything in the human sphere, so it needs a little time, but it doesn't need a whole life. That's why a lot of people die young, because they didn't need the whole life, right? And the people that they're involved with karmically need to experience that loss, right? Everything happens for a karmic reason, right? And it's not an conscious connective tissue of your soul, which you don't see because you're in this avatar, which, because of our crass six senses, you don't get the whole picture. It's very limited. Scientists say that through our six senses, we only see 0.009% of the universe. The other 99.9990%, we don't see. That's what the dark universe is. That's what dark matter is. That's what love's co-creation is, right? And the thing that stands between us is Lucifer, the devil, um, dysfunctional love. You can't have hate without having love, right? So Lucifer is just a impetuous child who's really disappointed with its parent and is going to do whatever it takes to get, love's co-creation's attention. Little does Lucifer know that all it has to do is breathe 20% in and out 30%, and there you are with love's co-creation. So, but because time doesn't exist, it doesn't matter. We have all the time in the world to get this straight, right? So one, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of relaxation. You are now totally disconnected from your avatar, and you are in your imaginary mirror, and you're surrounded by this photonic light. And I want you to focus your photonic light into your subconscious mind. Now, it's not like what Freud thought. Oh, it's where all the scary monsters exist. But no, it's a library of your soul's existence. From the alpha to the omega, and you can see it all, right? So I want you to focus that light right into the library, and you're walking into the library, and you see it's a big hall, right? And these shelves of these big books, and in front of you there's a big gigantic library you could drive, a locomotive through, and those stones aren't stones; they are those books of the Akashic record, and in the fireplace is the blue flame of eternal love's co-creation, right? That blue flame. And then in front of the fireplace are these nice lounge chairs. So because the fireplace is, a lady who wrote Harry Potter, anybody who creates things, that is the artist and the first person savage, right? That co-creates with love. So whenever we get something really right, it's because we kind of got it down with love's co-creation. And that's why all these movies that are like, programming us for a dystopian society, it's love's co-creation's little creative knack in there that gives the people making those movies the real essence of what that movie is. Of like when you see the Terminator and oh my God, the computers are going to take over and kill us all. Well, that's a metaphor for, we go down that thing that's going to happen, but not, the scary, monster thing from our subconscious. No. So as you walk in, you see that big fireplace. So, the lady who wrote Harry Potter, those guys could get around by going through the chimney, right? Santa Claus comes down the chimney. And in your Akashic record, going up the flue of the chimney and coming down into someone else's Akashic record library through their chimney is, one of the little, it's like a subway, right? So that's just a sidebar. And that's why those lounge chairs are in front of the fireplace, because when you have masters come visit you, it's nice to, sit around the fireplace and listen to them give you the 411, and you can have tea and crumpets, and so that's why that is there. The fireplace is the home of the blue flame. That is the creative force within the physical of love's co-creation, right? That's the thing that kind of creates the photonic light for Father Sky to connect us to Mother Earth through our chi, which is, it's like you could visualize chi as like the how would you visualize a drain, in a bathtub or a sink, right? So the water comes in through the, tap, and then, and that's tapping. The tap is a great term because it's tapping the energy of the universe, right? And that's what, 0 point energy is. It's tapping the device that taps between the different dimensions, that keeps, a little fence between the dimensions. It's a very super high voltage current, right? And everything is, we are electrochemical devices, so so that's where it's about. So there you are. You walked into your library. In front of you is a fireplace, lounge chairs, and then in front of that is a reading table. In front That is a reading chair. Above that is a light, a photonic light coming down on your reading table. So there are, whatever put on that table, there are no shadows. You see exactly what it is. And to your left, there is your librarian. See your librarian clearly. Remember what your librarian looks like. To the left of your librarian is your animal totem. See what your animal totem looks like. Remember your animal totem. And to your left of your animal totem is your guardian angel, right? Now, remember this. You're looking at it. You're seeing it clearly, right? And you're feeling it. You're there in the library. You're no longer in your avatar, your mud puppet. You are, your body is in a chair or on the floor or in a bed being run by its autonomic system. The squirrel is asleep, and you are right in your subconscious, your library of your Akashic record, right? And so to your left, these are your guides. Your librarian, see your librarian clearly. Remember what your librarian looks like, what gender it is, how it's dressed, what its face looks like, what energy it's giving off, right? Your librarian brings you information, right? Brings you the book, right? And whatever else information you may need. Now, you may read and see things, but because of the restriction of your consciousness within the Hegelian construct of, problem, action, solution, you're stuck in the material world, only illusionarily, not physically, not in love's co-creation, but because it's like a flypaper, you're kind of stuck there. But so you're going to see stuff in your Akashic record that go past the point of your disbelief. And so for you to suspend that so you can truly understand what's going on, your animal totem that you're seeing now clearly and remembering what your animal totem looks like, the animal totem tells you a story. Like me, your animal totem is your personal griot for your Akashic record, right? So you see something and you go, wow, what the heck is this? And your animal totem will tell you the story, right? To explain what it is. Because you're so stuck in your disbelief world of materialism. Oh, I pay my bills. I can't fool around with it. I'm a real guy. No. How to suspend that illusion is your animal totem will tell you a story that'll help you suspend that illusion. Now, once you see the truth for yourself of what's going on in your soul, and you feel it, and you have faith in it, not believe in it, faith, you can feel it in your heart, right? Well, that could scare the ever-living crap out of you. So you need someone that you can trust 100% to protect you. And that's why I have a guardian angel. Now, I'm sure you have, been in accidents or, something just missed you. I was in a car crash where I went off a, 2,200, like a mountain. And I went off a cliff. And, it should have been straight out of a movie where it falls through the air, hits the valley, car blows up. But the car went over the cliff, and there was a little outcropping, and the car went, instead of like that and then blowing up, it went bing and stopped, right? And we were like, belted into our seats, hanging there, and my dog was freaking out in the back, and things were falling. And then I said, we said, oh, nobody move, and then my dog was freaking out, so he's bouncing all over the place. So the truck went down, and instead of like flying through the air and then blowing at the bottom, it just kind of tumbled down. And as it tumbled down, it broke apart. When we finally got down there and things stopped crashing, I was holding the steering wheel in my hand and still belted into the bucket seat, and there was nothing left of the vehicle. It was just a trail of broken stuff, and toolboxes and things flew by my head. Anyone could have hit me in the head and would have taken my head off, but it didn't, because I was being protected, right? I got out of that alive. I've died 6 times, I've been shot, I've been, electrocuted, I've died 6 times. And I've always had my guardian angel watching out for me because I'm not going nowhere until I'm done here, right? I'm not coming back. This is it, right? Now, I may come back as something else, but I'm not coming back as a meat puppet, right? So, I'm working on ascending my free willed soul to, into my higher realms. This is the Aquarian age. This is what we're supposed to be doing in the next 25,000 years, is ascending. It's not, getting more money. It's not getting a bigger house. It's not getting a big boat. No, that was the Piscean age, getting what you want through force. Aquarian age is getting what you need to ascend your soul to a higher plane. That's what it's about, right? So that TV show and movie Stargate, the TV show was really right on a lot of things. Go back and watch that. That's pretty accessible on the internet, because when they talk about the elders, the people who made things, the people who came before us, they did, and they ascended, and we are their children, and we were left to figure it out for ourselves, because that's what you're supposed to do. But you have the tool of your, meditation, going into state, going into your library, right? So, one, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of relaxation. Most relaxed you've ever been. Your body is, you're no longer in. You've left the building. You're not in your avatar. It's taking care of itself with the autonomic system that it's supposed to, so you don't have to worry about your body. It's still there. You can go right back there. But for now, we are going on a journey, right? You have left the maelstrom of the illusionary world, and through your breath, 20% in, 30% out, with your body, it's still doing very nicely, which is keeping the squirrel of distraction asleep. And you have illuminated yourself through breathing in the prana and grounding it in your chi, right? And that's, once they kind of went into low Earth orbit, they could see that lightning didn't come from the sky, but the current actually came from the Earth, and that's the chi. It's another good thing to go, lightning coming from Earth, not sky. And so they have these, certain, I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, but it's photonic energy coming from the Earth, the chi, and going into Father Sky. And bingo, the lightning bolt goes down that trailer, just like I'm saying that visualized chi is the drain, right? So you can see a lightning bolt, the thing coming, the big flashy thing is coming. And that's what you're doing right now. You are riding the lightning bolt, right? That's what the photonic light is. No shadows, right? And so there you are in your Akashic record, and totem, your librarian, your guardian angel, and there's the and then that they're to your left, and to the right are these 9 doors, right? And 8 of them are all locked up, all closed, and one of them, there is no door; it's open. You can walk right through it. But right now, you're going to walk over to your reading table, sit down in your reading chair, and your librarian brings over your Akashic record, places it down in front of you, and you open it up into the middle, and there's 2 blank pages. Put your right hand on the right blank page, and you put your left hand on the left blank page, and then you lean into your Akashic record, and you eliminate, you evacuate all of the anger, all of the fear, all of the hate, all of the self-loathing, all of the powers that shouldn't be over you, right? Because they don't exist. They're an illusion. And by evacuating them and putting them in your Akashic record, you take them out of you. And because you're no longer in your avatar, you're in your soul, it's like taking it really out of you. And so you put all of that darkness, all the icky fear and hate and self-loathing and envy and greed, all of those, um, physical representations of the Luciferian angst over not having, love's co-creation love you, that you're not good enough, that you're evil, bad, and you should be punished, but you're not. You put all of that into the Akashic record, close the book, boom, right? Now feel, it's not in you anymore, you know? You feel light, you feel energized, you feel on the edge of, how you feel almost when you're going to have orgasm, but you don't. And this is what the Indians do in, their form of illumination through sex, is that they get to this point of almost release, and they don't release. They just build that energy up until, they become illuminated by the prana, right? And it's a lot easier you can do it any way you want, and you might even experiment it. That's, their little book about sex. You might experiment because it is kind of fun. Sex is supposed to be fun. It's not, why it's fun is it motivates you to procreate, and have more little mud puppets, So, and that's part of this whole karmic circle, right? So, and the circle, it's not, life isn't a linear ruler. It's a circle, right? And the event horizon is the life that we live, right? The little SE part is the path, right? One side is dark, one side is light. In the dark one, there's a little light. In the dark light one, there's a little dark one. So there's the light side, the illumination, the photonic, but you need the dark, because without darkness, which is where 99.999% of everything is in the matter, right? What's matter? And why we can't see that 99.9999 is that we can't work with that matter yet, And now we used to, meaning there are cultures. I mean, there are things that people dig up, geologists and Egyptologists and folks like that, and of course they misconstrue and lie and spin about what this stuff is. But really, what it is, it's a representation of the elders that came before us, right? And, we have been at this for 16 billion years. And little Earth, this little marble of a beautiful Garden of Eden, has been here about 6 billion of those, give or take. And it has gone through a number of catastrophic revisitations, right? And the dinosaurs used to be here, and gigantic rocks hit the Gulf of Mexico and obliterated everything, killed everything except a few little cockroaches and some dormice, and we became the dormice, and we came from. But the whole idea of evolution is, again, another illusion. Meaning, even Darwin knew that it was wrong. There are too many holes in it, right? And there are too many places where these great steps, it didn't take, evolution should take like millions of years of a slow gradation of, evolution. But no, there are these jumps where different species, came out of nowhere in less than a few thousand years, and that's like nothing in evolutionary time. So nothing is as it seems to be. But in your Akashic record, you can see everything as it is, because all things are as they should be, right? So when all these terrible things happen in our illusionary world that we think is real, all it is a lesson. It's just teaching us something. And if we can't learn it the first time around, well, we'll have 8 million other times to learn it, right? So one, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of relaxation. You're in your Akashic record. Now you're opening up it after you've just evacuated all the anger and fear and darkness from your soul and your heart into this book. You open it up, and there it all is. It's on the screen right in front. It's no longer a blank page. It's like those Those ink blot tests. Why do you think they got the ink blot tests? It's from the Akashic record. That's what it looks like. So look at that ink blot of all that darkness, and what does that mean? What's it showing you? And bingo, you will start to see things. Oh, look at that. Why should I have gotten mad at that? Boy, was I a pinhead? I shouldn't do that again. Okay, I'll learn that one. And then around the big screen, there's 28 little screens because this is photonic light. You just don't have an XY coordinate, 2 dimensions. You have 16 dimensions, so you can see it from not only your point of view, but the other guy's point of view, and the tree's point of view, and the dormouse's point of view. See all of this clearly. See this really clearly, because this is the first lesson of your Akashic record. You do this every day. When you go to sleep, I have insomnia. You don't take a drug. Breathe in 20%, out 30%, and, go into state, go into your library, sit down at your reading table, open up your Akashic record, and take all of the crap of the day. And that's a lot of things. Why did that person say that mean thing to me? Oh, at work, why did I, I didn't do anything wrong. Oh, at school, and blah, 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 all that blah, 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 blah. You put it into the book, close the book. Then you can go to sleep. And then as you're going to sleep, you tell yourself, I'm going to remember all my dreams, 100%. And when I wake up, I'm going to meditate and put them all in my Akashic record so I can go back and look at them, right? And I also, if I have a smartphone, push a button that records my voice, and I go, wow, I had this dream about blah, 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 blah. Now you have it, in your Akashic record, that you can go back and look at any time and then get to 28 dimension points of view. You also have it on a recording that you can hear in your meat puppet world. You play that and you write, you get one of these things. These are very good. I've used them my whole life since I was 6. My mother gave me one, my first one, composition book. My Aunt Gracie used to use them my whole life since I was 6. My mother gave me one, my first one, composition book. My blah, 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 blah. So your subconscious mind is why bad thoughts bring bad words. Good thoughts bring good words. Good words bring good actions. Good actions, good outcomes, which come from good deeds. So that's what this Akashic record is all about, for you to get a perspective on what it is, because you look at the book, oh, look at what I did. Oh, I won't do that again. Okay, I'm down with seeing this clearly. Breathe 20% in and 30% out, and absorb the prana, and then illuminate your body. Go to your imaginary mirror, take that prana light and shine it into your Akashic record, your subconscious mind. It's not a scary place. It's just a library of everything you've ever done, right? You go to your reading table, right? Your librarian brings you a book, and that day's worth of crap, you're in bed, about to go to sleep, you put it in that, and then you close it. You can open it up and look at what you did and go, oh, look at that, and kind of mull over it. And then, you get even more affirmed about, okay, I took care of that. You close the book, you go to sleep. You tell yourself you're going to remember your dreams. And in the morning, you put them down on your smartphone and in your Akashic record. So you have it in 2 places. And then you go back and you look at it and listen. And you write down what you feel when you see and hear this. And so when you do that, that's how you can navigate your life in the illusionary world. You can navigate it clearly, right? See it clearly. It's practice that makes perfect. You can't hit a home run the first time, right? But if you breathe that 20% in and that 30% out, at the very least, it will slow down the squirrel in your brain so you can think clearer, By breathing in that prana, it brings, animates your body better and better. Look at me. I'm prime example. I'm a living guy who should be dead, right? And I did it all, not through the medical model, but through meditation. Now I use the medical model when it's appropriate. But if I didn't meditate, I'd be dead. So, it takes, I've been doing this for 50 years. I had really good teachers, but really all they told me was, breathe 20% and 30%. And I just kept at it, So some people get it first time, every time. Most don't. But the ones who stick to it, my little rule, don't give up, don't give in, always never be mean, always be nice. And Lana, you should just be sitting in your chair breathing. You don't have to chat. The chat can come, if something hits you like a bolt of lightning, you can chat it in. After we take this little journey, you could, I want to, hear people's stories on what they saw. But this is basically, I'm putting this down. So when people go, I want to learn how to meditate, this is how to do it, right? And so, and two, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation. Close your eyes. You're in a comfortable place. Your body is safe and warm. You don't have to get up. The ringer on your phone. There is nothing to distract you. Focus yourself on your breath. Quiet the squirrel in your mind. Let it go. Let it go. This meditation video on our YouTube channel, Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Bob, this is for posterity, And it's a tutorial, right? It's not a magic trick, right? It's a tutorial. You have to do this. That's why I'm talking, it's a tutorial. I'm giving you a lot of data in between, meaning watch it as many times as it takes for you to understand what this is, and then go do it. Don't let the video be a distraction. It's just a tutorial, right? And now you can ride along with the tutorial. A lot of people like to do that. I've, gotten a lot of comments from people, because I don't know how, I must have at least 150 of these guided meditations on the channel, right? Now I didn't do it like this one where I say how to meditate, So when people want to ask me, how do I meditate? I can say, go look for, this one, and it'll be on this date. And I can go this one, and it'll be on this date. And I can go to this date, March, whatever it is, 5th, 6th. And so, 2, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of relaxation. Resituate yourself. Go back, visualize yourself breathing that 20% in, and do it, and breathe out that 30%. See the prana come into your lungs. See the prana go throughout your whole body. See your prana through your mitochondria, unzipping the RNA. Look in there, see the universe, and then through that you go into, because it's being illuminated with photonic light, you illuminate your, imaginary mirror right behind your eyelids when you have REM sleep. You see that, and you focus that light into your subconscious mind. It's not the scary monster place. It's simply a library of your soul's existence from the alpha to the omega. You've gone in, you've seen your whole library, the fireplace, the reading table, your guides, the 9 doors, your guides on the left, your librarian, your animal totem, your guardian angel, the 9 doors to perception on the right. You sit down, your librarian brings your Akashic record. You evacuate all the anger, all the fear, all the anxiety, all the greed, all the stupidity into that book. You close the book, you feel light, you feel energized, you feel like a balloon, right? And then you can open it up and look at it, and that all that darkness is splattered over those 2 pages like a Rorschach test. That's where they got it from. And then through that, you see all the different things that happened to you that day and the connections all the way back to when you were a child and all the way back to your life before then and the life before then and the life before then. And if you want to see your past lives, all you have to do is run your fingers of your right hand along the pages of the right side of the book. And it will be like a mouse. You will zip up and down of all your past lives, even in the future, right? So I want you to take that cursor and run, your fingers up the pages till you get to the first, your first incarnation, right? See what it was. What were you when you came into this universe? Were you a piece of dust, or like sand grain? Or, what did you go to? From there, did you become a plant, or a bunny, or see all the different incarnations, early incarnations you were on this planet, right? See how you picked up certain experiences that became metaphors for your life that you know hold true to today, right? And when you see where you came from, you understand where you are now and where you're heading to. And that is a concept of all our relations, knowing everything, you know, whether it's scaled or feathered or skinned or cold-blooded or warm-blooded, whatever a family, we're all our relations, right? See it clearly. And you understand that you're only here to experience these experiences, to enable you to enrich your soul so you can ascend to a higher octave, a higher frequency. You are like a tuning fork. You are tuning yourself through all these life's experiences. See it clearly. And in every day and every way, you're taking the piece of co-creation, and that is the tuning fork. That's the tuning you're doing, And you pray, Father, Mother, protect me indeed. Enlarge my territory. Put your hand upon my shoulder so I keep me from evil, so I will do no harm. And evil exists, because it's part of the yin and the yang, and it's neither good or bad. It's just evil, right? And it is a force, right, that can manifest us to do things. But it can only do that if we let go of our free will, if we turn ourselves into a mud puppet, when we, aren't conscious of who we really are. We are love's child in co-creation with love. See that clearly. And when you evacuate the anger and the fear of the day to day, the first thing that pops up like a balloon in a child's hand is love's co-creation. You feel that love ever, when you, this is, so I was an EMT. I worked in the medical scene a lot in different positions. And so I was around people who, died and came back. I was with people who was in such pain we had to knock them out, right? And, anesthetize them. And when they came back, they discussed or said, hey, I felt amazing. I saw, all the people I loved in my life and who have died. And I, they had this kind of near-death experience. And that's kind of what going into state is, because it takes away the disbelief, the disbelief of the paranormal, the disbelief of the other side, the disbelief of God, of love's co-creation. So hey, I'm a meat and potato guy. So I gotta pay the bills. No. Those are all illusions. That's coming from your squirrel mind. And when you breathe that 20% in and breathe out that 30%, it shuts down the squirrel mind. And it enables you to illuminate yourself with prana and not Luciferian incandescentness. You see yourself through photonic light. See this clearly. See the true sense of your higher self, right? So, two, you close in the book, you've seen a number of your past lives, you'll be able to dream about them tonight, and if you take naps, you can, tell yourself, you can have, lucid dreaming, meaning, hey, I want to dream about this, and you'll not only remember the dream, you will be in the dream. And that's what the story of Alice in Wonderland is about. And she realized that if she loses her head in her dream, she's going to die. And, so because she sees other friends of hers lose their heads and they die. And they really die. So, that's where we're at. You have control of this whole parameter of existence. The one that you're told doesn't exist. From birth, your religion tells you it doesn't exist. Your stasis or status in your, if you think about these things, they call you crazy or stupid or a jerk. They don't know. You will be trolled if you start to see this reality, of love's co-creation. You got, what are you talking about? You can't do that. That's, you're lazy, you're stupid, you're not, no. You are being who you are. And then when you say, I can't meditate, it's because people have told you since you were a child and in past lives, because you are the person who is most inclined to be at one with love's co-creation. You are most inclined to be that artist. You're most, they're a savage, they're an artist, they're a bohemian, I've been called all of those things, and those are good things to be called, So see this clearly. See who you are clearly, right? And in every day and every way, you take that piece of the earth and you make it stronger. See it clearly. So here we are. We are in state. We are in our Akashic records. We have eliminated all of the anger and fear, right? And we have put it in our Akashic records. We have looked at our past lives. We have interacted with our guides, our librarian. See your librarian clearly. See your animal totem who tells you a story. Your animal totem is your personal griot, and your guardian angel always watches your back. See it clearly. And this video, people have asked me, how do I meditate? Well, this video is that video. This is I must have about 150 guided meditations in my channel because I have over 1,000 shows. And I've been looking at past shows, and all of them are extraordinarily different, but the same because they're all coming from my Akashic records. I go into state when I do these. So there's this energetic, people, how do I meditate? All you have to do is watch these videos, go stumble across the ones that, are guided meditations. And this one, I'm doing this one specifically, and I'm putting it up there. I named it, This is How You Meditate, and it will be marked at this date, March, whatever this is. And so people can go look at that, right? I can send them to this one, and that's why I'm doing this one. This is primarily, how to meditate. And the thing about this is, so I've been doing this now for an hour and 21 minutes. Holy moly. And I'm only at stage 2 here. But you can jump in at any place in this video and get everything out of it. Because all you got to do, Jane, start breathing 20% in and 30% out, right? And you will go into state. You will illuminate yourself through prana going into your blood because you're breathing it into your lungs. And by breathing in that 20%, you're causing your diaphragm to lift and to open up your lungs to be more receptive to the prana, enabling your body to rise energetically to the point where your chi automatically grounds you and you have the circuit complete. And bingo, there you are. Bob's your uncle, and you're in your imaginary mirror, where the photonic light is everywhere and there are no shadows. You see everything clearly in your dream time. And that's when you can take that light and shine it into your subconscious and walk into your subconscious. And there it is, a library. See it clearly. See it clearly. And every day and every way, if you take the piece of the earth and you make it stronger, you do it. And every day and every way, if you take the piece of the earth and you make it stronger, you do it by going into your Akashic record and getting perspective by looking in the book. You do it any time of day. And practice makes perfect. Start out doing this, before you go to sleep, and you take all the crap of the day and you put it in the book. You open it up, it's like Rorschach check, and oh, look at that. Oh, look how stupid I was there. Oh, I won't do that again. And then you get perspective. Then there's 28 little screens around the big screen, and you get 28 different perspectives, not just 2. That's a linear world. We don't live in a linear world. And your Akashic record shows it. And as you learn how to navigate through it, you can overcome any obstacle. You can do anything you want to do. I mean, that's why I've had 40 different, careers, because I kept stumbling across things that were interesting to me instead of, I've got this down. I have to just be an electrician. Oh, I got this down. I just have to be a filmmaker. Oh, I got this down. Just need to be an actor. Oh, I got this down. No, I can do all of these, and I can do them all well. Because I've got all the time in the world to work it out in my Akashic record, because there is no such thing as time. Now, this is the extended version of how to meditate, and it's like the doctoral thesis of it. So here it is, gang. Just watch this one over and over again. Breathe 20% in, out 30%. Just keep doing that till you do it. It's no secret. And by just doing it, the prana will come into your blood. You will become photonically illuminated. And when you close your eyes, that's what you got to do. Close your eyes. Now, real masters can meditate with their eyes open. I can do that. I'm not a real master, but I can do that. And with practice, it's all practice. Practice makes perfect. So, you have to close your eyes to see your imaginary mirror, because it's on the other side of your eyelids. If you keep your eyes open, you're not going to see it. So you breathe in the 20%, you breathe out the 30%, you focus your conscious mind on that. Part of focusing your conscious mind is cutting out one of the, sensory inputs, which is in our sight is one of the big ones, is you close your eyes, right? And that's, things kind of go dark when you close your eyes. And that's when you can see the light lids, right? That's where you dream, where you have REM sleep. Your little eye, if you ever watch anyone sleep, the little eyeballs are flitting around behind their eyelids, and they're seeing the movie screen. And that's what you do consciously when you meditate. And if you do those 3 things, breathe in 20%, breathe out 30%, illuminate yourself and close your eyelids. So there is the reference to everything in your soul, everything in your existence, everything that you want to really have a life that you want. This is how you do it. How do you think I live? People, I have no sense of safety. I do this without a safety net because there is no safety net. Because the material world, you don't need a safety net because it's an illusion. And if you you become awake, not woke, like Miss Waron, woke. You got to be woke, man. No, awake. Awake. You don't turn your life into emojis. You take responsibility by breathing in 20% and breathing out 30%, eliminating the waste in your body, the fear, the anger, the greed, the selfishness, the lack of self-esteem, the anxiety. You get rid of it all by just breathing. See it clearly. And there you are in your Akashic record. And there you are. You put all your anxiety into the book and you close the book. And you're floating out of the chair like a balloon. And you're floating over to that open door. And that open door is the doorway to your love's co-creation exists, that you can go, and it's like Wonderland, but a one that you can navigate. The hero. Now, Alice finally came to realize that she was, what's the hero supposed to do? Jason and the Argonauts, Homer's Iliad. Why do we read those books? Because they, through literature, through the logos, the word Shakespeare, So you need to read those guys because they're all in your Akashic record. They're all in your superconscious mind. So you walk through that doorway, and that's a portal, right? It's round. It's a portal. You walk through, and bingo, there is a staircase. You walk up the stairs, and you realize that staircase is a bridge, and it's going over, the River Jordan of time, and it's your id. You're walking over your id. The River Jordan is a metaphor of your id. And so, and the River Jordan is water that leads from that great River Jordan is water that leads from that great lake that we all are. And my throat is getting a little dry. Take one of these little omega-3s gummies. So there you are. Sanctuary of your own choice, right? And at the top, you get the view, right? So you're way up there, you get the view. When you're seeing your sanctuary, oh, look, there's a meadow. And there is a meadow. And there is the gazebo, the meadow with enjoy. And you got your picnic basket with all kinds of yummies in it to give you substance. And in front of you is the gazebo. You can get an overview, right? And the overview of the gazebo is you will look around 360 because, see, the bridge only gives you one angle, right? Out there, right? Of everything, past, present, and future, right? And you can ask a question. The bridge only takes you to it. It doesn't everything, past, present, and future, right? And you can ask a question. The bridge only takes you to it. It doesn't and it gives you just what's a Zemo 360, and then tap it into live chat, and you turn 180, and there'll be a person in front of you, and you ask them that question, and they will give you an answer. So ask the question, turn the 180, right? And they will give you an answer. You may have to take that back to take it through the process of the superconscious mind because there are a whole bunch of things. It's not just a picnic meadow. It's not just a gazebo. There is the tree of life, the tree of knowledge, where down in the roots, there are places went down the rabbit hole. You can do the same. And it's the back door into those other 8. The quick nickel tour of this, right? And it's going down on this video. So you, the adept, all you got to do is go back to this video. Your breath, Akashic record. You illuminated yourself there and lightened yourself by evacuating all the anger, hate, and vile darkness into your Akashic record, which you can go back and look at that Rorschach test anytime you want. Your subconscious mind, which is simply your library of your Akashic record. You illuminated yourself there and lightened yourself by evacuating all the anger, hate, and vile darkness into your Akashic record, which you can go back and look at that Rorschach test anytime you want and see what the real deal was, why you did that, why this happened, blah, blah, blah. And that's what your Akashic record is very good for, because it can tell you the past, present, and future, and it can give you 28 dimensions to look at. See this clearly. And by evacuating, long home, your own home. So Billy Joel has a great song about, Billy Joel has a great song about, and 3, if you go deeply into yourself and illuminate yourself with that prana, our presence with each other. Be three. You've just taken a long journey. You've taken 2 long vacations, and it's 2 long vacations, and it's only been a few minutes. Now we're walking back towards the bridge, our hands on the rail, foot on the steps. We're going over the bridge. We get to the top, and it's only been a few minutes. Now we're walking back towards the bridge, our hands on the rail, foot on the steps. We're going over the bridge. We get to the top. We look back into our sanctuary of our own choosing, our superconscious mind, get that image, that overview very clearly, see it clearly. And you can come back here anytime you want. And they're your guides, your librarian, your animal totem, and your guardian angel. See them clearly, remember them. And you walk down off the bridge and you walk through the portal into your